Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you for watching as we go through how to display categorical data. So remember from last lesson, categorical data is when you say ask a question and somebody responds with a word or a category. Data that is not numbers, basically. So let's say, for example, that I ask some categorical data about people's eye colour and I'm going to give you the results. So here I have the results of asking 15 people their eye colour. And these are the results. So obviously every time I've written blue, that's someone with blue eyes, brown is someone with brown eyes, and so on. So we're going to look at 3 different ways that we can display this data. So the first way we can display it is using a frequency table. So all a frequency table is we list each of the categories that came up, and then we write how many times that occurred, that category was said, or that category came up. So our categories are, we have blue, brown, green, and red. Okay, so usually we draw up our table like this, and at the top we just have the category, and we have F for frequency, and that just means how many times it came up. So we can see very clearly from looking at the data above that there were a total of 7 people who said they have blue eyes. So we just put a 7 there. Brown eyes, there were 5 people who said that. There were 2 people who said green and 1 who said red. Now, of course, all of these numbers here should add up to 15 because there were 15 people in total. So they do, so I know I've done something right. So that's how you do a frequency table. It really is that simple. So the next thing we're going to look at is how we do a column graph. So a column graph is just where each category is given a column and its height is determined by how many times it came up. So what we'll do is we'll draw up our axes here. Now for a column graph, you always have frequency, F, on the vertical axis or the y-axis, and across the bottom you have the different categories. So because this is categorical data and this is actually nominal data, it won't matter the order in which I put things because there's no order to the data. So I'm just going to go blue, brown, green, and red. So for the frequency, I need to put numbers up here. Okay, so these numbers indicate how many times the response came up. So for blue eyes, it came up 7 times. So I'm just going to draw a bar up like that. Okay, you can colour it in if you want. Now, I should point out that in a column graph for categorical data, the bars don't touch. They touch in histograms, which is for numerical data. So the bars here won't touch. So brown happened 5 times. There were 5 people who had brown eyes. So I'm going to draw a bar there. So you can see, of course, this bar isn't as tall because there weren't as many people with brown eyes as blue eyes. Okay, and we'll do the same for green eyes. It happened 3 times. So we draw a bar up 2. So it's in line with 3 on the vertical axis. And then red will do 1, okay? Easy as. So that's a column graph. Now, the other type of display you need to be aware of is a bar graph. So a bar graph is actually the same as a column graph, but it's just on its side. So if I was going to do that, I would have the categories across the vertical axis, and I'd have frequency across the horizontal axis. So I'd have like blue here, and the bar would go up like that. Okay, then I'd have brown, and it would go up to like 5. They again wouldn't touch. So the bars here are horizontal. So in a bar graph, the bars are horizontal. In a column graph, they are vertical. That is literally the only difference between them. They are pretty simple as well. So you need to be able to interpret bar graphs and column graphs, but that's pretty easy as well. You know, we can see just by looking at the graph here that blue was the most common eye colour in this sample. Brown was the next most common, and red was the least common of all the categories that came up. So we just need to be able to look at this and find the percentage of people in each category. So if I wanted to find the percentage of people that had blue eyes, for example, I just look at my graph. I can see from the graph here that there were 7 people with blue eyes. There were 15 people in total, and I just times that by 100%. That's how I figure out the percentage of people in this sample who had blue eyes. So if I put that on my calculator, I get approximately 46.7%. Okay? How simple was that? This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a great day.